Coming up next, how to handle blunt people, and then how to handle rejection. Oh yeah, we got some goodness today, plus your calls and your chat questions, and it starts right now. I am coming to you live from our Ramsey Solutions studios in Nashville, and you're joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and then how you get there. We're talking about your purpose, your why, and we're going to look at your why at work. And really, there are two major areas of contribution that every human being can make and should make, and that's in the area of our relationships. That's our personal relationships and quite frankly, any relationship across the board. And then our work, because work produces results. And so the way we look at work here on the Ken Coleman Show, as we say every day, for those of you that are new, is that work is not something we do to live. It's not just a utilitarian act that creates a paycheck that allows us to survive. And then if we make enough, thrive. That's the way most people look at work, and it's understandable. But the reality is that we all long to make a difference in this world. And when we begin to see work as something that we live to do, meaning not to be a workaholic and have no life and no relationships and put all of your self-worth in your work and your salary. No. What we're saying is that to be productive, to be a productive member of society is to produce results that make a difference. And all work, or most work, is honorable. But we were created to contribute, to give of ourselves, and that's purpose. Our why is to make positive contributions in our relationships and in our work. And we're going to focus on the work. Now, we get into some relationship stuff because they are intertwined. But that's why we're here, and that's what we do. And I can assure you that you were created to fill a unique role. That means you are tremendously valuable. You're needed. But you've got to show up and do it. You know it and I know it. Let's help you figure out what that is and then how to get there. There are 7 stages on this journey. Get clear, get qualified, get connected, get started, get promoted, get the dream job, give yourself away. That's the journey. What stage are you in? And I can explain the stages to you, get you figuring out where you are on the climb, and then how to keep moving forward. 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577 is the number to jump in. You can also, because we're on YouTube, you can fire away your chat question, and we'll try to get to 2 or 3 of those in each show. You can also email the program, ask@kencoleman.com, to connect with us in any way. The website, kencoleman.com, has a ton of free and paid resources to help you on the journey. You can also follow me, and you should follow me on Instagram. Come on over there at Ken Coleman, and search the Ken Coleman Show on Facebook. All right, so great article today to lead off with. And because I think there's so many people in this world who struggle with any kind of confrontation at all, to the point that when you work with somebody who's very blunt, they don't sugarcoat it, Joe. They just let it rip. I've been accused of that a time or 2 or 3. They just, if you're a high D personality, if you're looking at the disc, or you're a 3 or an 8 on the Enneagram, of course, it goes across the scale. There's some people who just don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about how something's going to come across in certain instances. Now, we all at times will prepare our thoughts and share. But we're talking about people that just they're blunt. And as a result, that bluntness can sometimes be very abrasive, and it makes people very uncomfortable who don't like any kind of confrontation. And so I saw this article in Harvard Business Review. It's entitled, "Are They Mad at Me or Are They Just Blunt?" And this is a funny picture. Sarah, can you zoom in here on this camera right here? Let's zoom, or Ian, sorry, I don't know who I'm talking to. Zoom in. This is a funny picture. You can see it right there. Let's zoom in a little bit more. He's trying. I caught him off guard. He's not ready. It's okay. Can we do it? There it is. This is hysterical. Look at that. Look at the one seal reeling from the other one barking at it. All right. I thought we should show that image. Thank you, Ian. Because this is what it feels like. It's like, right? It was like, oh my gosh. And so I saw this, I thought, this is good because they're always going to be blunt people. They're going to be abrasive people. They're going to be difficult people. They're going to be unhealthy people. They're going to be mad people. And there's only so much we can do. So there's a couple things in the article. And then I said something the other day on the show that I'm going to bring back to land this. All right. So a couple things in the article says, don't take it personally. They're absolutely right here. You never know what's going on below the surface of that person who's really, really abrupt. Could be bad habits, could be environments that they're used to. Maybe they grew up in a house where they talk like that, whatever it is. Could be hurt, could be angry. Number two, but still consider, don't take it personal, but number two, consider, did I do something or have I done something that is, whether intentional or not, is creating some of this frustration, anger, or hurt, which is then causing them to speak that way to me. It's a very good exercise. Just at least look at it. See if they'll be flexible in how they talk with you. Sit down with them. Be humble. Don't accuse them. Don't attack them. And just go, hey, you tend to come across this way. Do you know it? And if you do you mind if we could kind of try a different style? See how it goes. What have you got to lose? Number four, be willing to compromise. And this is what I said on the show the other day with a caller who was in an environment that she loved. She said it's her sweet spot, and she wouldn't call the environment toxic, but there was a lot of tension with a couple of coworkers and how they acted. And when we got down to it, I didn't think it was something that she couldn't handle, and she didn't think it was something she couldn't handle. So what do? This is this idea of be willing to compromise. And the way I said it was expect it and deflect it. Expect it and deflect it. At some point, if somebody's not going to get healthy, you're not doing this, and it's really not abusive in any way, and it's not causing emotional and mental strain, enough to the point where you go, this is just ridiculously toxic. I gotta get out of here. That's the scenario. If it's not doing that, then grow up. Get tough. Expect it. I know that when I'm around these people, they're going to talk this way. So either I try to minimize my face-to-face communications with them, or I just go, this is how they're going to be. I know it's not about me. They're this way with everybody. So I'm not going to get my feelings hurt. I'm going to expect it and deflect it. Expect it and deflect it. And you'd be surprised when you take on the emotional and mental approach of, I'm not going to let this bother me. What did they say on the schoolyard? I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say, or something sticks to me, or not you. Bounces off me and sticks to you. Thank you, Joe. It's thank you, Joe. By the way, everybody young in the control room is very impressed with the old man Joe right now. But, it's a silly little elementary phrase, but, it really is quite true. And that's a mindset. That's a mindset to say, you know what? I'm not going to let them bother me. I'm not going to give them any power. Which, by the way, you got to understand, these people that keep getting under your skin, it's because you're giving them the power to do so. Gosh, if parenting 3 kids has taught me anything, it's like, look, the next time your brother's messing with you like that, just try acting like he's not even on the planet. It'll blow his mind, drive him crazy. Yeah, it works. 844-747-2577 is the number, 844-747-2577. All right, I'm getting the pencil. It's time to get to the phones. Dave is joining us in Indianapolis, Indiana. Dave, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate your time.
You bet, Dave. What's going on?
So my question is how to evaluate and talk to my boss. I'm an individual sales contributor today. I'm being offered a sales management position. In the short run, it'll be a little bit of a pay decrease, but I'm just looking for help how to think through those two options, how to have that conversation with my boss, and how to approach it.
Give me the two options again. I know one is the sales manager. Is the other option just simply saying no?
Yeah, just staying in my current role as an individual sales contributor.
All right. When you were offered the sales manager position, when it was brought up to you, after the initial, it feels good, doesn't it? It feels good when somebody goes, hey, we want to promote you. But after you let it wear off a little bit and you realize that it's a temporary pay decrease, tell me what your head and heart were feeling. Were they separate feelings? Were they separate thoughts? What was going on there? What is going on right now? Where are you at?
So I was expecting that. I had known, given my success, that my pay, given my upside and commission structure, had exceeded, my bosses pay. So that is certainly a component of it. I hate to continue to go to money, but that's certainly something to consider because it will be more responsibility and some other things. But I do think it does attract me to have a little bit more responsibility, move up in the company, have some upward mobility, potentially have more opportunity, in the future that would not exist if I stayed in the current position.
Okay, that's all good. So my question is, what's the pay situation going to be? How long before you I just think it's weird that the sales manager would make less than the sales people. That to me is wacky.
Yep. So it's more consistent, but it's not the large upside. Not all of the individual contributors make more than the management position. But given the last 3 years, I've had enough success that I have exceeded the position. So it's more stable.
Okay, but my point is,
know what to expect.
Is there financial growth, and when does that start to kick in?
Sure, and it's kind of nuanced. There are restricted share awards that will be part of it. That's part of the component I probably need more visibility into. And obviously, if I stay in my current role, I'll never get the chance to move up past that position. Where if I take the management position,
good,
potentially in the future, I'll have more opportunities. So that's another attractive feature.
Which does bring increase in compensation.
Sure.
How much of a short-term hit is it?
I've been very fortunate. So in 2021, I'm going to make $450. It could be as much as $100,000 to $150,000 hit. We're in baby step 7, so I'm very blessed either way, and kind of have the flexibility to take a short-term hit like that.
That's great news.
But
I still want you to look into this a little bit more. I think it's only right for you to. Is it your current leader that you're going to replace him, and he or she's moving up?
No, it's actually a new position. So I work in financial services. The person leading our group is more of a analytical personality. So they're looking to promote me to a new position to run sales and kind of continue to generate revenue across our entire team.
Okay,
so that's how it would be structured.
Then I think this is pretty simple. I think you just need to dive into this more and go, hey, look, I'm excited about this. I want the opportunity to lead and continue to move up the ladder here. But we all know my compensation here. I mean, this is not an elephant in the room, so let's not let it be an elephant. This is what I made. Nobody in their right mind, Dave, is going to think that you're wacky for going.
Right.
Initially, this is going to be a pretty big hit. I'm okay, and I'm willing to do it, but I would like to dive into more of, for a guy like me who's a performer, and you guys want me to drive revenues up. That's why you're putting me in this position, or you're asking me to consider it, correct?
Right.
So I would just say, let's look at the comp plan. What's it look like? What has to be true for me to get back up to 450? I think that's okay to ask. You need to be able to consider that, because that to me is the only missing piece that I'm aware of. It sounds like to me you like this company. You want to move up the ladder. This is the opportunity to begin to do it. Good on you for being disciplined financially, very smart financially. So while this will be a hit, it's not actually a real hit. It's not like you're going to be struggling.
No, not at all. Yep.
But you still need to press them on this, because you're in a great position.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You don't have to. You don't have to take this deal.
Right. No, that's right.
As good as you are and as successful as you are, there's going to be other opportunities. So I'm in favor of you taking it only after you sit down with them and go, let's look at my comp plan, because a guy like me to come in and take a new position and build something and grow revenues, I want to know what my piece of the pie looks like, because obviously I want to keep growing financially. And I'm only growing because you're growing. And, make sure that they know that you know that. When they win, you win. So I'd like to know the scoreboard situation and what has to be true. That's a really mature way of asking that for you to keep growing. And I think if you feel comfortable with that piece, then I'd take it.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else?
I like it. Yeah. Nope. Thank you very much.
Hey,
Appreciate
man.
your insight.
Hey, I'm proud of you, Dave. Way to go, man. Really, really proud of you.
Thanks, Ken.
Sky's the limit, man. Go, go, go. All right, Jenna is up next in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Jenna, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. Thanks for taking my call today.
You bet. What's going on?
So I've got a few notes here, and we'll start out. My husband and I have relocated, and I'm about 2.5 hours away from the job I've been working for 3 years. When we relocated, they offered me the opportunity to work from home, permanently. However, in the last 6 months working from home, I've discovered that I'm an office individual. I don't like working from home. And I think I'm ready to take the next step to find a job in office. However, my hesitation comes that recently my husband's been diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, so I am definitely the primary source of income in our household. And knowing if he can work and what his medical bills will look like are very unknown right now. So I guess my bigger question is, how do I confidently and get comfortable with the decision to make that jump to a new job, a new position?
Well, you do it comfortably when you've got something that is a really, really wide open decision that says, yes, this is so yes, it's not even close. Like there's nothing to consider. And so right now you do have a good situation. It's only not ideal in that you're a human who likes to be around people. And long term, this is going to suck the soul out of you being alone. So, but there are bigger problems in this world. And given that your salary and stability and they value you so much, I'd start looking today for something else. And I think you kind of know what you want to do. And I think you're a person who's pretty clear. And so what we do is we find another opportunity that is paying. I'll just give you the characteristics we're looking for here. It's got to be in your sweet spot, right? Where you're using what you do best to do what you love, that produce results that matter. Because I'm assuming the current work that you have been doing is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I love what I do, and the only thing I don't like is that I work from home now.
Exactly. But here's the deal. So we start looking in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and around that area, and we go, okay, I know the characteristics of my sweet spot. I know what it looks like. So I'm going to go look for that. And when you find it, okay, we go, all right, does it also pay me what I've been making, or give me the opportunity to make more? Or does it pay more? Does it have good benefits? Check, 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 check. And if it does, Jenna, then there's nothing to be uncomfortable about. You're just going to step from one dock, or from one boat onto the next boat. And it's just that, you ever been to Disney or one of those like jungle cruise rides, and that thing's just moving at about a mile an hour, just kind of floating through. And when it gets up to the platform, what do? It's a nice, easy step. You're not scared. You just step right up on the platform. I think that will happen once you have something to replace it. But, you're going to have to be patient, and you're going to have to be a big girl and bite the stick a little bit and be alone for a while until we find something to replace it. And hopefully we find it quickly. But in the interest of taking care of your family and your husband in this uncertain time, I think that's the big picture, and I think you can handle it.
Okay.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think to that, my follow-up question would be, I have recently worked with a recruiter, and it seems like there's 5 amazing opportunities that they pitched me. And I think a little bit of my reluctancy and hesitancy is, what if I get in there and don't like it? So how do I combat that? Yes,
great question. So what you do is you've got the name of the company, yes or no? Or is it one of the situations? Yep. Okay, good. So who do you know that knows somebody that works over there? That's it.
Okay.
So you can figure out through 1 degree, 2 degree, or 3 degrees of connection. You tracking with what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you get on the phone with them. Hey, I'm considering a job at your company, and they're going to, again, they're a connection for you through a mutual friend or an acquaintance. People are willing to talk about their company. The other thing is go to websites like Glassdoor, Indeed, do some research. Are there some positive news stories on the company? Are there some negative news stories? Look at if you can do some research and find out how their maybe some of their vendor relationships, what's being said on social media. Now, I'm going to caution you when I tell you this. That's where you go find the information. I just gave you all the ways for you to find out if it's a healthy company and a good company. Number one, though, understand this, Jenna, no company's perfect. There's always going to be something negative. There may be several negatives. But then you've got to have the maturity to follow that trail too and go, how does that make my head and heart feel when I find out what the negatives come? Because it could be a jilted former employee who's just saying all kinds of crap.
Sure.
So you got to weigh it. That's why I always think talking to somebody who works in the company or maybe 2 or 3 people is the way to go.
Okay.
But that's how you find out. Hold the light. Okay. Hold the light up. You know, it's like going into a dark room. You got a flashlight. There's no lights in there. What are we going to do? We're going to shine the light all the way around and we'll look and see, are there any critters in there? You know, what is there anything gross in here? How are we doing? Is there any water damage? You know, just do your examination, and you're so capable of finding out and then weighing it yourself. And that's how you overcome the fear of, will I like this place? That information is so easy to get, it's not even funny, Jenna. So don't make the excuse for it. Because you know how easy people will talk about they'll talk about their company. Good or bad, they'll let you know.
Sure.
So get after it. You got this, Jenna.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ken.
Yeah, appreciate you. 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. Coming up next, a special offer for Ramsey Plus. I'll tell you what it is and why you should consider it. Also, some chat questions, and I'm going to teach on how to handle rejection. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
Our world is changing, but so are we. Now, we see a smile through someone's eyes. We conquer our struggles and cherish each moment because we're shielded through faith and assured by hope. And greatest of all, we love. The world is different, but so are we.
The Ken Coleman Show continues from our Ramsey Solutions studios in Nashville. And we are talking about what you were created to do. What work constitutes your dream job? What's that look like for you personally? How do you get there? What are the steps to take? That is the source of our passion here on the Ken Coleman Show. And I am thrilled that you're with us. 844-747-2577. As I mentioned, I'm a part of the Ramsey Solutions family. And Ramsey Solutions is the leader in the world of helping people get out of debt, save, and live like no one else so that later you can live and give like no one else. And if you want to be 100% confident that you're doing the right thing with money, Ramsey Plus is the resource for you. We took all of our best tools in teaching, put them together into one all-access membership. You can learn how to get out of debt with Financial Peace University. You'll learn how to budget with the Every Dollar app, and then you can track your progress in getting out of debt with the new Baby Steps app. Plus, there's so much more, and there's a lot of content from me that's coming in there soon. I know, can you pursue your dream job while getting out of debt? The answer is yes. Go to DaveRamsey.com and sign up for a free trial of Ramsey Plus today. DaveRamsey.com and sign up for a free trial of Ramsey Plus. All right, let's go to the chat room. Boy, this is the wildest username I've ever seen. So I'm not even going to try to say it. It's that difficult. And I'm hooked on phonics. So we'll just go with the front half of it. Ural writes in, what are the functional ways to battle imposter syndrome? Well, imposter syndrome is just good old-fashioned doubt. That's all it is. Doubt, insecurity. We could throw insecurity in there. And it's really the voice in your head saying, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I have what it takes. I think people are going to find out that I can't do this and I'm an imposter. So when you start thinking that about yourself and what others will think, then that becomes the thought and then the feeling. I'm not worth this. I'm a total fraud. And that becomes this cyclical story, this narrative that burns into your brain, and you start seeing the world that way. So the ways to battle it is just to get the source of the thoughts out. So this doubt and insecurity, what's causing that? What's causing you to feel that way about yourself? Is it because you don't have a lot of experience? Is it because you're actually just a new person in and you're worried that because you're new, that you're just not going to be able to fit in? I mean, there could be a myriad of thoughts here, but I'm a fan of battling doubt and fear and pride by writing the thoughts out. Get them out of your head. When I do one-on-one coaching with people, I'll say, all right, let's talk about your mindset. Dealing with any fear, dealing with any doubt, dealing with any pride. Okay, yes. If the answer is yes, I want them to tell me exactly what it is. And so we write it down. And one of the thoughts may be, I'm afraid that I'm going to fail and thus wreck my life financially. Okay, let's write that down. Is that actually true? Are you going to do some things that are going to cause you to ruin your life financially? So you start breaking that down. Well, what would that be? Well, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm stepping into a new sector, and I'm going to have to learn. I'm going to have to step in and then learn how to step up. Okay, great. Well, none of that is a financially wrecking decision. So whatever it is, we write down the thought or multiple thoughts of doubt, and we put them on trial. Is there some truth in it? Okay, great. Where? So then if that's something that's, well, Ken, I don't have the experience. Okay, go get the experience. Oh, yeah, okay. It's all doable. So let's take the starch out of the monster. Let's take the ugliness and the grossness out of it by exposing it and go, is this true? If it is, what would we do to then eliminate that hurdle? Great, done, check, next. If it's not true, and many times it's not true, many times it's just a lie, then we go, oh, that's not true. And now I can focus on the truth. And the feeling of doubt goes away, and the feeling of confidence replaces it. And that's how we do it. Melissa writes in, I feel like I've lost my passion in my current career field of IT. How do I tell if it is from burnout or a loss of interest for the work itself? Well, it's not from burnout. So burnout is not a source. Burnout is a symptom. So I was underneath my crawl space last night, Ian. Yeah, you're laughing already. Like Ian hears that I'm under my house in my crawl space, and he immediately starts laughing at me. That tells you Ian knows me well. Yeah, no, I was under there intentionally, and I had the flashlight, and I was just checking. You know, we got a small leak kind of over in the corner of my garage, and I wanted to have some information to tell the plumber when they show up today. So I'm underneath there checking it out, Joe. I got to tell you, it was fascinating under there. Of all the homes I've owned, this is the roomiest and cleanest crawl space I've ever been in. I was quite pleased. And where was I going with this? I was going somewhere. So we're talking about is burnout a symptom? Sorry, folks, I got to reset and keep you with me. I get distracted sometimes. So is burnout a symptom, or is it a source and it's a symptom? And here's what I mean. So I'm under this crawl space, and I'm having to squat and walk, something I never do. And I was under there for about 10 minutes. And when I got back out of the crawl space, reattached the door and started to walk back in the house, my daggone legs were tight like I'd been on the Peloton, because I don't squat ever. And I certainly don't squat and walk, which is what you have to do in the crawl space. And so I don't have so the symptom is the tightness of the legs and they're sore. Well, what's the source of that? I'm squatting and walking. So when someone tells me they're burned out, is it from burnout? I go, no. You actually named one of the 5 causes of buildup on the heart. And when you get buildup on the heart, we feel burned out. So burnout is the symptom. We want to get to the source. If I go to the doctor with a leg hurting, we're not worried about the leg hurting. We're worried about what's causing the leg to hurt. That's what we've got to get to. So one of the causes I could tell you right here, Melissa, is a loss of interest. You've already identified one of the 5 causes of buildup. You just lost the juice. Maybe you're bored. That's another of the 5 causes. And they are, I got no enthusiasm, no juice for the work. I just don't love it. That's the 1. 2, I'm in a toxic environment, because we can love our work, but if you're constantly going into a toxic environment, believe me, the buildup starts to happen on the heart. Then I feel underappreciated. Okay, I don't feel people want reward and recognition more than they do a raise. Okay. And then, of course, there is I'm bored. So you've got to figure out if there's one or two causes here, but you're not burned out at all. This is just, let's get to the source of what's making me feel burned out. And ultimately, something is covering up your heart. And so let's figure out, am I bored? Am I don't have a challenge anymore? I'm looking for a new challenge. So I kind of love the work, or I do love the work, but I've kind of mastered it here and I'm looking for a stretch opportunity. That's what I want you to look into. And then we figure out, oh, okay. Because I get people calling all the time going, should I change careers? In fact, it was yesterday, Joe, we had a young man call in, wants to be a pilot. And he lost his job during COVID. He's like, should I change careers? I'm like, do you want to fly? As much as you always wanted to fly? Oh, yeah, more than anything in the world. Then no, don't change careers. Let's stay afloat and let's re-enter. So that's what I want you to do there. 844-747-2577. Okay. I'm so excited to take on this topic. Rejection. I think rejection is the single greatest hurdle that we as humans face on the path to anything on purpose. Okay, so whether it be career, health, relationships, sports, whatever endeavor in our lives. If somebody doesn't like something we've created, something we've cooked, something we've built, don't like our results, we get cut from the team, we don't get the job, we felt like we crushed the interview, we don't get the job, we audition for something, we don't get it, whatever it is. I could go on and on and on. All of those outcomes take on a very personal feeling. And it is the feeling of rejection, like, they don't like me. They don't think I'm good enough. They don't want me. Whatever it is, that's what it turns into. It starts to just kind of, whatever the scenario is, whatever the form of rejection is, it seeps down into our heart. And when we're by ourselves and alone and we're processing the rejection, we turn into elementary school kids. We really do. And we're just like, they don't like me. They think I've got cooties. Nobody wants to play with me. I mean, that's what happens. So first, let's acknowledge that, shall we? Can we acknowledge that? That happens to all of us? Happens to the best of us? It hurts. Rejection stings. And then we make excuses for it, though. Here's what happens. We go, well, I failed, and it would be silly for me to step into failure again. Now, that's a lie. When you are saying that because somebody rejected you and you didn't get a job interview, it didn't go for you the way you wanted it to go, or, Joe, I auditioned so many times for things and tried to get on the air and local radio, and if I just said, you know what, it's not working out for me, doors aren't opening, I'm an idiot to keep doing this. Is that true? That's why we go back to the sweet spot. Did I have the talent? Did I have the passion? Did I have the mission? And the answer was yes, so I kept going. That's why we teach that first stage is get clear, because you will need to retreat to clarity, folks, stage one, many times throughout your journey. And when you get rejected, that's the most important time, because rejection feels like a blow to the soul. It's like it hurts in the heart, but seeps to the soul. Oh, that's good. Somebody should write that down. That's what it is. Rejection. It hits us in the heart and then it seeps down, and it's just this deep spiritual wound where we're like, oh, I'm not good enough. And then we start to make excuses that make sense to ourselves and to others when we talk about why we're not pursuing it, why we're not getting back on the horse. And this is dangerous because it makes a lot of sense. Well, it's going to cost me some more money and time. And you know what? I'm a husband I got a wife. I got 3 kids. I'm the sole provider, and I got to take care. Oh, you're such a good man. You are such a good man. You're a good provider. And so all of a sudden we talk, and we're honorable. And so all of a sudden we make not getting back up on the horse smart. and safe. And who among us doesn't want to be seen as smart and safe, Joe? Nobody wants to be seen as reckless. And see, there then the lie begins to spin, and it builds and it builds and it builds. And what it does is it becomes this giant okay for us to stay on the sidelines, to not get back up on the horse. So what do we do with rejection? Because it does sting. We have to turn it into redirection. It's not a no. It feels like a no. Ken, come on, Ken. It's a no. I mean, I don't know that I've ever heard a no more plainly than the time I was interning with a sports radio station in Atlanta. They're still there, and the guy who said this that I'm about to tell you is still there.
Let's talk about him.
I'm going to share the story because I want people to know I know what no feels like. So long story short, I'd been on the air with this station. I'd talked my way in there as a free intern. Do you know this story, Ian? I walking off the street. I was running my own company. I was making good money, but I went in and I talked my way through the receptionist and got in the building. It was really audacious, but I got in because I looked sharp and I acted like a normal human being. And I got an audience, so I started interning 3 days a week, 3 hours a day. So I was spending 9 hours a week screening calls for this sports talk station, getting water and Sprite for the host, and eventually got to know these guys. And I said, hey, guys, I don't need any money, but, hey, if you ever need a remote reporter for something, I can go out and do, calls. All I need is a press pass. They're like, dude, that's awesome. Let's go. Well, it was against the station's policy, but they didn't know. I didn't know. I mean, nobody's doing anything wrong. I'm on the air, and they're loving it. So this program director gets wind of it, and he's powerful. And he wants to tell me how powerful he is. So he calls me into his office, and the producer of the show that I was working with 3 days a week, 3 hours a day, he overheard it. The door was open. It wasn't some, And this guy starts telling me how I've violated policy. I'm not a full-time employee. I can't get a press pass. He's disappointed in the host. You can't do this. I appreciate you've been a good guy. You're doing good stuff. Everybody likes you, but you can't be on the air anymore. And I press a little bit. For all the reasons you just said, you can't make an exception here? I mean, is this really? Like, I'm not asking you for money. I'm never going to ask you for money. I just want to keep doing it, get the experience so I can make connections and do this. He looked at me and said, you got to stop pushing me, Ken. It's not going to happen. He has no reason why that policy is there. And I'm sure there might have been a good reason. This is what he said to me. And I'll never forget it. He looked at me and he said, you need to give it up. He goes, dude, you're in your 30s. You don't have a degree. You don't have any experience in this. And frankly, you don't have the talent to even be on the air in this market. We're a number 8 market. You don't have that kind of talent. I'm going to tell you something, folks. Up until that statement, I knew I had the talent. But when he said that, it hit me like a ton of bricks in the chest. And all of a sudden, I felt like a fraud. I felt like a reject. I was humiliated. I was hurt. I was angry. I had a cocktail of emotions just exploding in my heart. That was rejection. You don't have the talent to make it in a number 8 media market. Was he right? No. But did I think he might be right for a little while? Yeah. It hurt. It stung. I don't want to feel that ever again. I'd worked so hard. I put in the time, volunteering, stuff I write about in the proximity principle, stuff I tell you folks. I want you to understand, I've been there. I'm only serving you what I've had to cook and eat myself. But hear me on this. Here's why I tell the story. It stung. And I heard a very clear no, and it felt like no. But a couple of days later, I began to redirect. What's the next opportunity? What do I learn from this? I can't rely on somebody else to give me a job. I'm going to have to go make my opportunity. And that was the breakthrough for me. And thus led to the Ken Coleman Show eventually. And then the journey here to Ramsey Solutions and the rebirth of the Ken Coleman Show. I couldn't rely on another program director to give me a job. I had to go do it. So what did I do? Listen, I turned that no into not here. Listen, this is so good, folks. I turned that no into not now. I turned that no into not here at that radio station. I turned that no into not now. And I redirected. And that no, turns out, was the best no that I've ever heard. Simultaneously, by the way, the most painful no I've ever heard, but also the most valuable no, because it redirected me from sports when I was already questioning whether or not I really wanted to do sports broadcasting every day anyway. And now I do this where I'm broadcasting to help people in their personal and professional lives. I'm broadcasting to help you. Yes, you. Looking at me right now, you. I'm broadcasting so that you will believe what I believe about you, that you were created to fill a unique role. This world needs a contribution from you, and it's your contribution, not what your mom and dad want you to contribute, or your uncle or your coach or your pastor or your grandmother. Your contribution. What's burning in your chest because you know you want to give it to the world. I believe you have that, and I can help you figure it out, and I can help you get there. And so to take that no that day, to be able to help you find your yeses, it was worth it. And so that is how you can turn rejection into redirection. It's not a no. It's a not here, not now, not yet. You pick your phrase and you keep on moving. All right. Unfortunately, I got to keep on moving. I'm ready to go another 3 straight hours, but I got to go. Before I do, you matter. You do have what it takes. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.